put the work in. And I got to be hungry enough to go after it each and every day. I understand it will never be easy. I understand that I got to work, but I will not give up. I know that I have to work. I know that I have to believe. I know I have to trust in me. Because that's the power, ladies and gentlemen. That is the ultimate truth, is believing. You got to stand on it every day. Tomorrow does not belong to any of us. Tomorrow, it has already set the stage for what's coming. So let's go and live. Open up your mindset and live. Feel your heart beating and live. Not one living human being is perfect. Not one. But we have to do our best to do the things that we must do to carry on. If it's too hard, I don't want to do it, then it's you with the problem. Stop playing the blame game and go about your business. It's up to me now. When it starts to get too tough for you and you don't seem to have the mental capacity to fight through the pain and the agony, you still got to stand. And sometimes you just got to stand alone. Whatever it is that you need to do, get it done, and get it done right now. How can you say you enjoy life if you're not taking care of yourself? How can you say you are living your best life if you're not taking care of your life? Get up and transform your mindset. Get up and live. Swallow that pride. Let's do it together. Let's get to work together. Let's lift each other up together. Make every day count. For each day you live, for each day you breathe, there's a chance. Be productive, be strong, and from the bottom of my heart, ladies and gentlemen, conduct your business.
Good morning. Good morning. I hope you guys are doing amazingly. For whatever reason, I'm having the worst issues with my connecting and stuff. I'm having the worst issues. But good morning. I hope you guys are doing and feeling well. It's a lovely day. I am feeling so much better than I did last week. Oh my God. Oh man, last week was horrible for me. I don't know how. I mean, I do know how I got so sick. I ended up getting a lot of vaccines and things like that. But geez, Louise, I am happy to be back, feeling good. So that's good. That's good. We got a lot of stuff to cover. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. But before we get started, I just want to say, how are you doing? I want to do a mental check-in. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing very, very, very well. And I hope that you guys are okay. So there's so many things going on in the world, and it's crazy right now. It's really honestly crazy. And actually, once I'm gonna do that. So I wasn't able to get take care of like all the stuff because whatever reason while I was trying to like load in, log in, all that kind of stuff, it was just challenging, very, very challenging. But I'm better, and I hope that you guys are doing well because it's I think that it's very important to me, at least, that you guys are doing okay. There's, like I said before, there's so much going on in the world, and it's so very challenging to maneuver and steer through a lot of the craziness. And so it's like maybe I should do like a little quick like physical, financial, mental health check-in. Make sure that like you're doing well, you know the right things to be doing and taking care of. So I am excited about today because what we're going to do is we're actually going to visit the topic that we were supposed to visit on Thursday morning whenever we were live, which was going to be Marine Corps leadership principles. All right. And the reason why I love talking about Marine Corps leadership is just because they got it right. They have it down to a very simple, basic. And obviously what we do here is provide the blueprint to success in every potential way, whether it's goal setting and goal tracking blueprints, whether it's financial blueprints to get to financial independence, or whether it's just leadership blueprints, right? To be a great leader, or even just ownership in your business ownership blueprint. So what we do here, we help people out. And so if any of that stuff specifically applies to what you are looking for, what you need assistance with, or what you want to continue to increase and build on yourself, I've got it for you. There's so many different leadership, business things that I've done, goal setting, strategy, financial products, things like that I've done and worked with and had the experience to work with, been licensed on, and so many other pieces that the experiences that I'm bringing to you are from, my experience and a lot of my leaders that I've worked with and a lot of other people that I've had. I want to try and get more of those leaders that I've worked with on the podcast to be able to talk about some of their insights, is because these are the people that I've learned from. So I want to get them on in front of you guys as well. But I want to talk first about something crazy. And I know that today isn't, why did this upload? Why did this start anew? I know that today isn't Financial Products Day, but I need to show you guys something from Terrence Howard. And it's insane. It's truly insane. Where is his website at? I want to find it. I want to find it right here. All right, here we go. We're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch this craziness together. We're gonna watch this craziness together. All right, let's go. What's 1 times 1? I usually keep my podcast pretty professional and things like that. I try not to trash talk any person specifically, but I needed to talk about this just for like 5 minutes. That's it. Just give me 5 minutes to like rant.
Show, and oh my goodness, I can't believe he is in studio. You have seen him in Hustle and Flow many years ago. You've seen him in Iron Man. You've seen him in Empire. He is Hollywood star Terrence Howard in Memphis. Thanks for coming in, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me here, man. I'm sorry that it was the last minute. I wish we had planned it a little bit so we could have had some time to chop it up. We only got to talk a few minutes, but
He's so
I
old.
like
He's
how you
getting
do
so
your
old.
thing, man. You got good spirits, man.
Thanks, man. So, first of all, why were you in Memphis? I'm scrolling through social media yesterday, and I called Jenna, and I said, hold on now. I said, Terrence Howard is in studio. I said, all right, he's in town. I said, you got to get him to come in with us. And sure enough, was able to make it happen. But there was a movie premiere for you.
Yeah, but I appreciate the fact that you wanted me in here and asked about that. That means everything, and that's what Memphis is about. Most Memphians will reach out to you. It's like DJ saying to Skinny, come back home, Skinny, where you at? That meant a lot. But I came here and I can't help but give it right back and multiply it. And then it's like, oh, man, this isn't an enemy or stranger. This is a friend that I just didn't realize he was my friend. So how can 1 times 1 equal 1? How can A times action?
Okay.
A react.
Hold on. Here we go. All right. So first off, you guys already see the energy that Terrence Howard has. He has a very thoughtful, mindful energy, which I love. I absolutely love that. He's very thoughtful, appreciative of life. It seems like he's very grounded with life.
Action. Right?
Okay.
Have you ever seen an action times an action without a reaction? Have you? No. Because equanimity is the currency of the universe. There's always an action times an action having a reaction. So how can 1 times 1 equal 1? How can A times B just be A and not B? What happened to conservation?
Terrence, these are late night conversations.
These are no. These
Yeah,
are.
they are.
This is the beginning of our understanding. It should fit. What kind of calculator you got? What kind of phone you got?
The iPhone?
Okay, go to your calculator.
Whatever the new.
No, go to your calculator. Go to your calculator.
All right. Go to calculator.
Go to your calculator.
Yeah,
you
I got
do too. You got iPhone?
What are we doing?
I want both of y'all to do 2 separate things. I want to do the same thing to start with. Turn it to the side.
Okay.
All right. Now I want you to both hit the number 2. Did the whole calculator show up?
Hit number what?
Hit the number 2.
Number 2.
Go to the square root. It is the second column from the left, 3rd row. It'll have that squiggly thing.
All right. 1.4.
1.41421356237309.
Holy
now
crap.
I want you two to do 2 separate things now. 2 separate things. I want you to multiply it by 2, hit times 2, equal, don't you do it.
Okay.
And I want you to hit x to the 3rd.
I already know exactly what he's about to do.
X to the 3rd. It's going to be
Times 3?
No, x to the 3rd.
Oh, X. Oh, okay. I see it.
X to the 3rd.
Yeah, I got you. All right. 1.1.
No, you didn't hit x to the 3rd.
Yes, I did.
If you hit x to the 3rd.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
So
I
go
did
back
that.
again.
Okay,
You
so
keep
now
yours where you are.
Yeah, I'm
2.
good.
Look. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this with him, right? 2. Okay. And the square root button. Okay. Now x to the 3rd. I don't have x to the 3rd on mine. But I do have. Oh, I don't have x to the 3rd. I don't have x to the 3rd. Okay, hold on. Here we go. 2 square, yeah, okay. And then we're going to do x to the 3rd. 2.8, okay, 2.82.
2
Square root
and
hit x to the 3rd.
All right, 2.82.
2.828, 4271, 2174, 6190. The same value you got
Yeah.
by multiplying it by 2.
Yeah.
And he just cubed it. Divide it by 2 again. Both of y'all. Divide
it by 2.
No, divide by 2. Hit equal.
Right. The reason why, Terrence, is because the numbers don't stop here. The numbers don't stop here. That's all that the calculator has. All right. If I was to multiply, if I was to square, or what did he tell the other chick to do?
Now, cube it again. Hit x to the 3rd. He just cubed
2.82 square. You're right.
Times 2 equal. Two separate things. I want you to multiply it by 2, hit time.
Right. Okay. So multiply by 2. So if we were to go back to 2, okay, right? 2 square root of 2 is this. Now, here's the thing. He's stupid. God, I'm sorry. He's stupid. This is the same. I'm gonna tell you guys. This is the same type of math that your investors will do, and you won't even know it. Like, this is blatant. This is blatant right here, right? But your investors would do the same exact thing. All right. So square root of 2 is 1.4, whatever. Okay. He's saying if you double it against itself, that's what he's saying. Square root of 2. He does not know how to get back to 2. Okay. But square root of 2, if you would have to ultimately like x squared or whatever, or I didn't do it right, whatever. You have to do all of that. You have to go right back there. So 2 squared right there. Now, he's then saying if you multiply that by 2, you get the same exact thing. Well, yes, you get the same exact thing, because with the other piece, that's literally not with where are we at? 2 squared and then x to the third here. Yeah, you get the same exact thing, because multiplying something by 2 and doing something to the power of 3 isn't different. On top of all of that, the fact that 1 is in there makes it much more special, because you end up getting the 0.4 times itself 3 times, which ends up taking it to another 1, and so it boosts it up. Like, it's not the same thing as like the square to the or x to the third is very different when it comes to any number with 1 point anything, 1.000 whatever with a 1 at least up to anything. It's going to make it much more special. Just because this math doesn't make sense to you doesn't mean that you're smarter than this calculator. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, his
Times 2 equal, don't you are the same value you got divided by x, beginning of your math. That's how I invented tangential flight, because your math, someone programmed that lie in there and lied to you and everyone, and all your fundamentals are off.
Well,
That's
certainly now.
Flight that takes it to unlimited.
Okay. I want to find the exact.
Because you know how I figured it out? What's 1 times 1?
1 times 1 is 1.
To multiply means to do what? To make more, right?
Yes.
Increase in number?
Yes.
Multiply?
Only, yes.
How can 1 times 1 equaling 1?
Right. Now, here's the other thing. Okay. Jesus Christ. 1 times 1 is multiplication. The whole point of multiplication is to multiply, is to make more. However, you by calculating the multiplication are not multiplying. Like, the purpose of utilizing multiplication is to identify the amount of quantities. You are not multiplying. Okay, you are not physically doing the multiplication with the math that you are doing in your brain. Now, even if you're a scientist or a mathematician or whatever the case is, and you're putting in code and things like that, yeah, you can actually be physically like making things multiply because of it, right? And if you're a game developer or something like that, right? If you're a game developer and you need to put that in, then yes. However, 1 times 1, you're not multiplying anything. You are once again not multiplying anything. You are trying to figure out what the quantity is. So with this, Terrence Howard, my buddy, there's no way that you can make 1 times 1 anything other than 1. No way. There's not a single way. There is no way. And on top of that, the example that you ended up using is without logic. So listen, Terrence, buddy, Lucius Lyon. I don't remember your name in Iron Man, whatever it is. 1 times 1 is 1. How do I know that? Well, I have my phone here. Okay. And on my phone, there's just, matter of fact, perfect. I have all of these applications on my phone. Yeah, go away, notifications. I have all these applications on my phone. All right. Now with this, the way that multiplication goes is I'm not going to multiply by saying these numbers that I'm about to say. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 in one row. That's one of your 2 factors of the multiplication of the two pieces, right? 6. And then how many rows do I have? And we're just going to assume I have, for sake of ease, 10 rows. 10 rows of applications. 10 rows of applications. So 6 times 10, or because it's 6 apps by 10 rows, or it's 10 rows by 6 apps, and that equals 60 applications on my phone. Okay. I did not say or create the math, create that by saying it. I did it to figure out how much the quantity is. And because of that, our purpose is not to multiply or duplicate or whatever the thing is, whatever it is that you multiply. Okay. Now let's get to 1. If I have let's see, if I have, you know what? Perfect. This is perfect time to use this. Come here, whiteboard. New whiteboard. Perfect time to use this. Oh, hello, me. There we go. Perfect time to use this. All right. If I have, all right, so this is a box. Actually, no. What we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to color in some circles. This is just basic math. Now, this is a horribly drawn circles. I want to fix that one circle. That one circle is just really bad. All right. So in this box here, in this container, there are 5 columns. Actually, I'll put this up here so it's easier for you. 5 columns by 6. Now, what we are going to do is figure out how many colored circles there are. Well, in this entire container, there's 1 circle that's colored in 1 row. There's 1 circle that's colored in 1 column. This is how you multiply. You take the amount of rows by the amount of columns, or the amount of streets by the amount of cities, or whatever the case is, to figure out how much the quantity of something is quickly and without having to count or add them. Instead, you multiply. So this would be 1 times 1, which gets you how many? 1, because it's telling you the quantity. Your job is not to multiply. Once again, let's say we have this. So we have 2, 0, 1, 0, 0, and 0. So here what we're going to do is we're going to add the amount here. So we've got 3 total. That's how we figure out how many there are. In this case, one is not straight up simply that. Now we could go how many columns on this row of 5 is colored. Well, we can go 2 times 5. There's 2 columns that are colored in this row of 5. So that gets us 2. And then we could do the same thing here. 1 times 1. And that's 2 times 5, my bad. 2 times 1. There we go. 2 columns in this one row. 2 times 1 gets us 2. 1 row is colored, or 1 column is colored in this row of 1. That gets us 1, which then we would add together to know that there's a total of 3. All right. We can, there's so many different ways that we can do this. Now let's say we have the box method. We got the box method. All right. So here, I literally suck at drawing boxes. Shapes. Give me a shape. There we go. Okay. Beautiful. Actually, let me do some lines. Oh, crap. Why'd the line go away? I need you, line. Chill, buddy. We're going to do this together, and it's all right, Terrence. It's all right. It is all right. I had to take a couple teaching math to young people when I was in school. All right. So this we're going to say is a box. Oh crap. This is I suck at drawing these lines on this thing. All right, here we go. Bam. Perfect. This right here is a container, Terrence. Okay. This right here is a container. Now on this container, in this container, there's nothing. All right. There's nothing. So instead, this time, we're not going to count the rows and columns. We're going to count the box. So in this one box, there are 0 containers. So what we would do to figure out the quantity, remember, we're not doing the math. We're not doing multiplication. There's one box of 0 containers. So that's 1 times 0, or 0 containers in one box, which gets you 0. Gets you 0. Why does having something multiplied by having nothing equals nothing? Because you're trying to figure out the quantity of physical items inside the container. Inside the container. This is about inside the box. This is about that, how much is in the box. What is the physical quantity of product? What is the physical quantity inside the box? This is not trying to figure out how many boxes there are. So if you're trying to figure out how many boxes there are, you do, well, there's one box in this house. So one box times only one in the column or in the row or in this area of the house, in this one area. Okay. If there was one box in 2 different areas or 2 different apartments, it'd be 1 times 2. Okay. Which will get you 2 total boxes. This will get you 1. This is 0. This is different. You're testing something. You're literally testing something different. You're testing here how many boxes there are, right? There's one box. There's one box, but where you're testing it is different. You're testing it in how many apartments are there? Well, there's only 1 apartment and 1 box. Cool. Well, there's 1 box and 2 apartments. So you have 2 boxes. 0. Now, let's just say that I filled this up with a milk jug, milk gallon, or milk half gallon or something. I put 1 milk half gallon in there. Now it's a little bit different. Hold on. It's about to get a little bit spicy, Terrence. It's about to get a little bit spicy. Look, I have 1 box. Am I testing the amount of boxes? No, I'm not. 1 box times I have 1 container. How many containers is in this box? There's 1. 1. How many containers do I have total? 1. We're testing, we're calculating, we're trying to figure out how many containers are in the box. Now, let's say that we did this. And it's about to get super spicy for you, buddy. Copy. Duplicate. There we go. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Okay, Terrence. Now you see this? About to get really nice and spicy. Oh, crap. Go back. All right. Now we're a little bit different. So before this 1 box by 1 container, okay, there was 1 box by 1 container. Now we have 2 boxes, not with 2 containers. We have 2 total boxes, and we have 1 container per box, right? 1 box. How many containers per box? Well, there's 1. So if there's 1 box and 1 container per box, that's only 1. 1 piece of product, 1 container that we have in total. But now we have 2 total boxes, and each with 1. That gets us 2 total containers. Now, let's say that this box had 2 containers and this one didn't. Well, first off, we have to then do these individually. We cannot do them at the same time. Okay, so we've got right here 1 box with 2 containers per that box, which gets us 2 total containers here. Here we have 1 box with 1 container per box, which gets us 1. Now we add 1 and 2 to get 3. And now we have 3 total containers. We are not doing, there is in no way, shape, or form 1 times 1 will equal 2. And I understand that you are challenged in the multiplication aspect. I know. The crazy thing is, guess what? Almost all of America did not get financial education or good math growing up either. And even so, even if they did get it, it can be challenging sometimes. We get it. It's okay, Terrence. It's all right. Thank you for explaining how 1 times 1. Golly. That's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. And now I do appreciate Terrence Howard's, journey and things like that. And so, but there are people following him. There are people following that rhetoric. And this is also why, once again, I'm just going to pull it back up. I'm going to pull it back up, actually. I'm going to pull this right back up. All right, look at this. Look at this, guys. Let me clear this. I literally never know how to clear this screen. Or whatever. I'll just do this. All right. This is the same thing that your investors tell you. Okay. I'm going to show you. Investors talk. We're going to put it. So they're going to say, well, if your account goes up by 5%, and then it goes back down by 5%. This is what they tell you. This is literally what they tell you. It goes up by 5%, then it goes down 5%. 5 minus 5 is what? 0. You had no loss. That's what they're going to tell you. Right? If it goes up 10%, but it goes down by 9%, you still made 1%. This is percentages. percentages, not numbers. This is not just a number. This is percentages. Percentages are comparing something. And since it's comparing to something, to a total value, it does not work this way. You don't take the numbers and add or subtract them based on an actual number, right? Yes, you can subtract and add percentages, but that's to find out the total percentage that was deviated or changed or whatever the case is. Okay. However, let me show you why this doesn't actually work. Investor talk. So we're gonna go with this right here. So let's say that you had, or we're gonna make it easier. We're gonna make it easier. We'll go 10%. Not because I can't do 5, but because 10% is just much sexier. So if you have $100,000 in your account, okay. Now we're talking real numbers. Now we're not talking percentages. In this case, it's $100,000, and you have actually we'll go even easier. You have a 50% gain. Okay, you have a 50% gain. You're up 50%. Actually, I'm gonna put this on this end. You're up 50%. Well, 50% of 100,000 is 50,000. Or my bad, not percentages. Jesus Christ. 50% of 100,000 is $50,000. So $50,000 gets added to this, equaling a total of $150,000. All right, you went up 50%. Using the same exact logic as the investors talk, if you then lost 50%, again, it's not 50%. You're not losing 50% of this number. You're not losing 50% of the original number. You're losing 50% of this number. If you lost 50% of this right here, of the 150, 50% of the 150, well, 50% of 150, you multiply by 0.5, right? Gets you $75,000. $100,000 does not equal 75,000 as far as I've known. Does this make sense? This is what your investors tell you. This is what they literally tell, and they won't even show you the proof. They won't even, because a lot of times you cannot read your statements, your stock statements. You can't read it. Like, you just don't. You could read it easily. You could very, very easily read it, but also it's crazy because you don't see as much of it because you're looking at the amount of stocks that you've gained or lost. You're looking at the amount of, shares that you have. That's what you're looking at. And so sometimes it might be a little bit difficult. But if you go up 50% and you drop 50%, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not 100,000 or it's not 50% of what you started with. They tell you this. You had a total net loss of 25%. So does 50% minus 50% equal 0? Well, that right there, yes, that is true. You're subtracting 50 percentages from 50. From 50. But what is it percentage? What is it in comparison of? That's the difference. And in this case, it's 100,000 was the first 50% that I was in comparison of, and then the second time was 150,000. So in this case, does that equal 0 loss? No. Okay, next, I want to show you guys another piece of this, the same exact thing. It's not even going to be anything different. What if this was, I don't know, $50,000, right? You went up by 50%. which got you to 75,000. What if you lose 50%? Well, 50% of 75,000, gotta do some math here. 37.5. I knew that. I literally knew that. What's wrong with me? So 50% of 75,000 is 37,500. Okay. So that's where you're at. So 75 is what you got to, but then you lost 50%. So your overall net loss, 37,500 divided by 50,000 is 0.7, or you dropped down. So once again, equals 25%. That's your net loss. Once again. Don't let these people with this crazy math who don't understand stuff destroy you, because they will. They'll tell you this. They'll tell you, well, 50% minus 50% is zero. You didn't have any loss. No, it's 0%. That's it. But that's in comparison to what? Because this percentage is percentage of what? Accent. Well, what's the percentage? What's the percentage from? What is it comparing? Is it comparing my 100,000 on both? Because if so, then yeah, that's zero. Yeah. But it's not. That's the thing. This second 50% is on the new value of 150,000. Don't let them be crazy to you. Don't let them be crazy to you.